Are we on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Microphone check. Lights, cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
Welcome to 3 Music TV's Culture Daily. This is our small studio. We call it Studio 899. It's our small studio, but here we have a big conversation.
Beautiful studio.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Thank you. So, by way of introduction, I go by the name Cyril, Lenny Lomote, Olele Salvador.
Of course, I know all of you. I mean, Culture Daily is the culture.
Oh, come on. Stop it.
Praise him.
Stop it. You're making me blush. Charlie, bro, welcome once again. We loved the performance. We loved the vocals, everything.
Thank you.
I mean, we're just here talking about, the whole vibe of gospel and how it's becoming more and more contemporary and providing as much enjoyment as inspiration and, meditation and all that. And would you share that sentiment?
Yeah, I think that's the bane of contemporary gospel music. It's supposed to be, it's gospel, so it's good news. But it's also contemporary.
Regardless.
It's supposed to be, in vogue. What's in vogue musically is what contemporary gospel musicians are supposed to be churning out. Basically,
Excellent.
By definition, that's what it is.
You, as a contemporary gospel artist, what genre do you tap in the most to fit into the contemporary lifescape? Because I'm hearing a lot of reggae vibes there.
Of course.
Yes.
My influences are, I grew up a Pentecostal. Okay. So, of course, the Pentecostal influences, the Elder Miracles, of course, all the, the Church of Pentecost vibe is there.
All the pace-setters.
Yeah. And then there is also the contemporary gospel vibe from Ghana. We're talking about the Danny Nettes, the Neo Kinds, who were the pace setters along those lines. And growing up, I was heavily influenced by the music in my home. Courtesy my uncles, who were Bob Marley and reggae fans.
There we go. See, I caught it.
I tapped into that sound also. And of course, if you are a contemporary musician, where the music moves, you move. Yeah. And so we are followers of music generally, and what our young people are listening to. So Afrobeat vibes is also somewhere in there. So those are my influences, and you feel that all of them in my music. If you follow my catalog, you see that there's the churchy side of me, there's the reggae side of me, and there's also the contemporary side of me, and then the Afrobeat side of things.
At the age of 17, like you said a couple of weeks back, that that's when you found the path. That's when you found the calling. Mm-hmm. With all these reggae, contemporary vibes in the mix, uncles jamming, stir it up early in the morning and at night. Yeah. Why gospel? How gospel?
Why not gospel? Let me flip it. Because
typically when 17 teenager falls in love with music and has been surrounded by contemporary reggae at that time and all these other contemporary sounds.
Yes.
If you had said you were surrounded by gospel music at that age, maybe it's a question. No? But you get what I'm saying?
I get you.
Why is the rose blossoming on the pavement? That's what I'm asking you.
I get you. I get your point now. And it's well, from primary school down to JSS, I was singing for the girls.
Come on.
I was singing No Scrubs.
Tell them the truth.
I was singing, I don't want no scrubs. Scrubs a guy can get
no love from me.
Hanging on the passenger side.
She likes to pretend she's not her age, so ignore her.
I don't know. Come on.
Is she a 90s baby or 80s baby?
Hey! 90s.
Waterfalls near the
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And in Kumasi High School, I went to Kumasi High School. Okay. And then that's where I had my encounter with Christ. I don't want to get into that. It was very prophetic how I came to Christ.
I'm sure personal as well. So.
Yeah. And that was the turnaround point for me. And I realized that this gift God gave me, I was probably misusing it.
It's not for no scrap.
Yeah. and I then started off studying under Senior Brusso, who is the head of DSTV now. He was music director then in my school, so I went through his hands, came through that, came to Voice of the Spirit, a non-denominational group in Kumasi. I'm sure you know Prince Mentor, and Stroma, all of those guys came through that group. And on and on and on, this is where God has me.
Now, at the point where you realized that, you know, you wanted to start gospel beyond singing for the ladies, serenading the ladies and all of that, what was the easiest decision that you had to make?
With regards to music?
Yes.
The easiest.
And being focusing on gospel.
The easiest will be the kind of journeys I wanted to do. I'm very analytical, so at the time I looked at the scene and saw that there was a gap with regards to alternative sounds for gospel music. So I started off in 2014 recording, released an album in 2015, and at the time Shatawale was top, Stoneboy was top, you know, reggae was receiving a lot of appreciation worldwide. And I felt that I could be that alternative for gospel. And some other people within the industry saw that and proposed that, you know, I towed that line for a while. And it was a good decision, because I rose to national recognition and international recognition very fast. Gospel Innovation USA posts that I'm the fastest rising contemporary gospel musician in West Africa.
Wow.
Because I mean, from 2014 when I started recording, by 2015 I was winning Discovery of the Year Africa Gospel Music Awards in UK. So it was fast. International limelight was fast, and I attribute to the fact that I told the reggae path, because there was not too many people doing it in Africa. And in West Africa especially, it was only Bucci in Nigeria,
and a lot of people who did the reggae more than the gospel. So your balance seemed very perfect. Now, you also spoke sometime about the church's need to invest and support. Now, for somebody who started independent, you know, and then boom, you know, a year later, international awards, blah blah blah, what kind of investment has gone into this? I mean, 2014, 10 years now.
A lot of money. a lot of time, a lot of you know, teamwork. I started off recording right from my second album. We've been recording live, and I've kept,
that's expensive.
And I've kept a team for all these years. You know, the Tribe of Judah. So a lot goes into that. The team have poured out their sweat, their heart into our catalog. We poured in money. Promotions, production, and all of that. So a lot of investments have gone in there into my person as an artist, and also the art itself.
How has the church played a role, you know, in your rise? Because you said that just a year after you set out to, you know, make music, you were, you know, named as the fastest rising and all of that, right? What role would you say that the church, you know, has played first in your life, and then your music, and then in the life of, you know, gospel artists and all of that, the backing of the church?
The church is pivotal. The church is the vein. I mean, I grew up in church. I started, you know, directing music in church. The understanding of music that I have, the basics came from church. I honed my craft in church. I learned to lead worship in church, you know. And in Ghana, the biggest consumer of gospel music is the church. You know, we play our gigs in church, you know. So without the church, I don't think any of us will be doing the kind of things we are doing.
Would you say that the church has helped make you a better performer?
Of course. If you compare, you know, gospel musicians as performers to our counterparts, you realize that we are there. You know, it's because day after day, weekend after weekend, we are performing.
There's an audience.
There's an audience to listen to us, and we better our craft doing that. So when you talk about live performances with our counterparts out there, we don't worry about that, because that's how we hone our craft. You start to understand what it means to play with a band, what it means to understand keys, what transitions and all of that. It's the basics. You learn to sing in the choir, you understand harmony. It's the basics of music. So compared to our friends, you realize that when it comes to the understanding of the music, if you compare technically, gospel musicians are way there. Yeah. Because it's our 9 to 5.
Right. Being that you have some reggae or dancehall influences, will there be a time where you would want to collaborate with a Ghanaian or maybe a non-Ghanaian reggae dancehall artist?
What will we be singing?
Gospel,
music, just making music.
Definitely.
Inspirational,
for me,
gospel.
My disposition is gospel music. I don't think there's ever a time I'll be singing about buttocks and legs.
No, of course not.
And,
I mean, all the time.
I'm.
I can say all the time that these recruitations are done, or these collaborations are done between gospel and secular artists. It's always gospel. You don't find the gospel musicians
wins,
Of course,
so that's what I'm
if UN wants me to do a song about hunger and disease and those kinds of things, conscious music, of course, I'm available for that.
Right.
It has to be something inspiring,
edifying, and morally upright.
I don't think there's going to be a time I'll be singing those kinds of things now.
Some people,
but I wanted to know who you would collaborate with, which
assuming all these boxes are ticked.
I love our dancehall guys. I mean, I think that Stonebwoy is a phenomenal musician. And musically, I think he's there. He's got all boxes ticked.
So Stonebwoy will be the one.
Yeah, yes. With all boxes ticked.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Some people think that gospel music in recent times do not carry the oomph. They don't carry the anointing.
Oh.
They feel like trying to contemporize the sound, is taking people away from the church. However, in the defense of people like you who are doing the contemporary sound, it's believed that it's a way of catching the youth. But there's still the argument that it's rather pushing them away and not bringing them back to the church. I'm sure you've heard some of these conversations. If not, maybe it will be the first time. What do you make of such things, especially with the new crop of gospel artists like the likes of the 1,000, which is Team Eternity, and all sort of songs that are being released these days. It's no longer the what you call it, the harp kind of music,
the
accordion kind of music. It's more ginger, it's more youthfully driven. And I want to pick your mind on that. What do you make of that, the conversation that was around that?
I think that argument holds no merit at all. We should be looking at impact of the music and what testimonies the contemporary gospel musicians have, as against our predecessors. Music is dynamic. It's culture. So as culture evolves, music will evolve. You can't hold us back, telling us to still do accordion music when the world is listening to Afrobeat. I tweeted one time that to deny the contemporary gospel musician of the opportunity to be a part of the evolving arts and culture conversation is to deny them of impacting their world. We've moved from there. The young people are not listening to those kinds of music again. So you place the music, the message where the young people are, and trust God who converts and convicts to do the rest. That gospel music has lost oomph, I don't agree. At least at least on my part, I've seen a lot of impact. I've seen testimonies upon testimony. In fact, I've seen a dead baby come back to life.
Wow.
Through my music.
Wow.
A dead baby
Nice.
come back to life. A baby that was stillborn came back to life. You know, through God touching the baby through my
So
music.
the responsibility lies on the listener and how they posit the songs these days, rather than the artist who is obviously receiving an inspiration to put together a gospel record, or what would be called a gospel record.
Olele, what I mean is music is tripartite, just like a human being. There's the body, there's the soul, and the spirit. The body is what you call it, the beats,
Right.
the rhythm and all of that. It corresponds to your body. That's why you will move your body to a certain kind of beat.
That's right.
Right. And the melody is what carries the intelligence of the song. Right. That's why you hear a sound like what they play on that Tenteben when somebody dies.
Yeah.
Pa-pa-da-pa-pa.
Yeah.
And you begin to, the sorrow comes over
you
you.
in the mood.
Nobody
The dirge,
said
yeah.
anything to you, but the intelligence of that music is appealing to yours. The emotions of that is appealing to yours.
Yeah.
The most impactful part of music is the lyrics. Jesus says, the words that I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life.
Yeah.
So I don't care if the body is punk or hard rock metal.
It's a message.
It's the message that comes with the music that actually imparts. The spirit and life part of the music is the message. So let the young people do the music of their time, and trust the Holy Spirit who convicts to do the rest. I mean, you are not the Holy Ghost to go about convicting people. So let the young people be.
Once the message is
Yes.
the right message,
Yes.
what will happen will happen.
Exactly.
Had.
Exactly.
Right.
That what's funny is sometimes we hear songs that are supposedly, ostensibly not composed by gospel musicians,
Right.
but are gospel.
Right.
And we lift our hands to it, we worship with it until we get to know that the song wasn't written by a gospel
Then we
musician.
judge.
Yeah.
Right. I see what
What changed? Because you got to know it wasn't written
The
by
career.
Yeah.
True.
The messenger, we judge the messenger,
Exactly.
and we draw back from the message.
Exactly.
Having been a messenger for all these years, what are some challenges?
The biggest one from our side of the world is systems. The gospel musician from here lacks systems that will push us to international heights. That's what we are trying to break. The new kinds that the natives did their bit. Our generation, myself, Joe, MOG, and our friends are trying to break that thing. We're trying to get corporate Ghana, get record labels to look the way of Ghana. I'm on 1 RPM, and I'm probably one of the few gospel musicians from here on there. We are trying to prove a point that gospel music from here can soar, given the right systems for it to soar. And we are trusting God that the guys behind us, the one-man thousands and all of those guys, and evangelists and all of those guys would have such platforms that can make them compete internationally. We are so to speak disadvantaged when it comes to numbers compared to our Nigerian friends. But when we have some of these systems and these record labels looking our way, machines backing us, I believe we're going to. So the reason I said 5 years ago that churches should enter into record labeling is that so that the gospel musician can operate on a system, right, and the systems can support the growth of the gospel musician. Right now, I don't know any of my friends who have an executive producer or like all of those systemic backings. We have done things on our own, like entrepreneurship thing going on right now. But I believe that with systems and all of that coming to play, we are going to solve.
I mean, okay. I just want to ask. When you talk about labels, just as it were with the Atlantic Music Records and these other big records that we know for the secular artists, there is the Integrity Music that has represented the likes of Don Moyne, Ron Kenoli, and a few others.
Yeah.
Has there been an opportunity whatsoever with these type of labels?
Yeah, they have.
In the past or recent past,
Yeah.
and what has been the conversation, and why haven't we seen some announcement yet? Because you guys have been doing this for a minute now.
I think our friend Niela in the UK is on integrity as we speak. I don't know.
Okay, she's on the imprint of integrity, not exactly
on
music,
integrity. Yeah, there are conversations. I've had conversations when I was in London a few months ago with my good friend Junior Ga. Okay. Junior Ga is the guy behind those people, spirituals. Wait in the world.
Okay, right.
So Junior is actually Ghanaian. A lot of people don't know.
He's
Wow. Junior is Ghanaian.
We got Ghanaians around. Huh?
Yeah, he was here a couple of months, and we had a songwriting session with him. He, fronts a lot of some of these conversations and all that. So we are trusting God.
What are they looking for in terms of Ghanaian gospel music? Not just the artists. What are they looking for? Because labels on the other side are looking for numbers. They are looking for a community. They are looking for a ready audience. Because these days labels are not looking to build the artists anymore. Because time is moving. Everything is microwave these days. So, but on the side of the gospel, I mean, I'm curious to know what the conversations and expectations are when you go into such conversations. Yeah.
So they are looking for authenticity, especially from West Africa. They realize that first, music from the African soil, when it comes to gospel, is now at the fore. It's on the front burner. With Waymaker going global, the West is looking to Africa, especially West Africa, for new sounds. In gospel? Yeah, in gospel. Wow. They're looking to horn new sounds from here. So
because gospel is like Black American, like
we moved from there long ago. We moved.
They're looking towards West. They're looking back at West Africa.
Back to West Africa, and it's intriguing. You see songs like Waymaker go global, Emailer, and those kinds of songs. I mean, Emailer as part of the song is in Yoruba, So those cross-cultural conversation is something they are looking to hone, and they want to tap into real, authentic, Ghanaian sounds, authentic Ghanaian sounds. So, so if you have looked at my productions, I'm going back to 80s high life. I'm going back to real typical Pentecostal worship, contemporized a bit. So I'm recording songs like Unawo to me, to me, those kinds of things.
The one we tend to Jama.
Yes. Yeah. That's where we are at now. We're trying to bring back what I termed we are trying to redig the Asian wells. Okay. Those kinds of songs that our grandmothers and grandfathers, passed on to us. That's where I'm at right now, and that's what the West is looking for.
So, do you agree to Nathan Obas's assertion that Ghanaian music should have some elements of English, or more elements of their lyrics in English to help with the cross-cultural impact?
There has to be a deliberate attempt. Okay. We have to be deliberate about crossing cultures, and one of the ways we can do that is to give them a piece of us and a piece of them. Okay. Right? So I'm familiar with some part of the song, but some other part of the song I'm not familiar with it. So because of the first familiarity, I'm going to get familiar with the second part. And that's how come they are singing Emailer and those kinds of songs. And if you watch closely, my compatriots are doing it. Yeah. Joe is now singing English, English, Yoruba recently, and all of that. We are deliberate about those things. Yeah. So I sing a chorus in Ghana, Jo, Majo, Majo.
Even if I don't understand,
which was the first song you performed? That was, yeah. Okay.
And I give you a verse in English. I just want to perambulate. Okay. So and I give you, it's deliberate. The lyrics is so simple. Jo, Majo. And any white person can sing it. Right. And so we should be very deliberate about it. You have to look at crossing over audiences when you are writing from the writing, from scratch. Yeah, I picture myself in Europe doing a festival full of white people, and I can teach them Jo, Ma,
2 seconds,
and we are gone.
Wow. And now in wrapping up, I mean, we're on time, but in wrapping up, my last question to you would be: you spoke about the advantage of having an audience almost every Sunday or every weekend to perform to. That hones your professionalism, time management, team management, your performance scale, your vocal training is on point.
Exactly.
So that church audience brings you everything to develop as an artist.
Yes.
That's a free gym, quote unquote, for your lyrical prowess.
Exactly.
Financially, how does that translate? Because if, for example, Stoneboy, Sarkodie, Shatta, we're getting shows every week, we automatically know that allow cash out.
Yeah.
Every week. Does that translate in the gospel space?
The disposition of the gospel musician is quite different. The model is different. The gospel musician is big on impact. Is big on, transmitting what God gave you to his people. That's the first thing. The business acumen and all those things is secondary. So yes, at a certain level you will see that translating into good money. And if you are level-headed, you wouldn't want to, how do I put it? You would plow back into production.
Because you want to clarify the message again.
So that's how we grow. So the people, you have one album or you have a single going out, you push it, churches are inviting you, you are getting gigs. Whatever monies you have, if you don't have a label backing and all of that, financial backing from somewhere to produce new music, that's your capital. That's what you're going to use to produce new material. So if you mismanage that, you will come to a place where you will not be able to produce new material.
Yeah.
Fact. I mean, Lenny Olele, anything else to wrap up? I mean,
I wanted
the man
to ask
has
him about,
he's answered everything in the book.
Yeah. I wanted to ask Akesse about his agenda for the church, to maybe quote unquote manage these talents and ministers, right? How far gone is that? Are you still on the agenda? Do you think there's a possibility, of the church taking up the mantle to say that we want to manage, the talents that we have? Because I think the church is a first point of call for, gospel artists and ministers and all of that, from the choir, and all of that. So how far gone is that?
It's yielding a lot of fruit. So we saw a record label from ICGC last year, Altar Music. So they're starting off with their home choir. I was on their Easter event recently. Okay. And that is yielding a lot of fruit. We've also seen Maker's House. Maker's House also start something in that light. And then I think Reverend Oben's Church, what's the name?
Is it Keepers or something?
Keepers.
Yeah, Keepers.
Keepers Music.
Keepers Music.
Actually, Keepers have some projects out, so that's it's building up. It's yielding a lot of fruit. So right from last year, we saw 3 good initiatives from the church: ICGC, Keepers House, and also Maker's House.
Okay.
Do you
Nice,
think?
nice.
And this is my last question. Do you think that gospel artists have become complacent because of the benefits or the advantage they have with the numbers in the church in terms of promoting their songs when it's released?
I don't think it's complacency. I think it's like, I'll circle back to systems.
Okay.
You've been able to produce the project, but you don't have the budget
to sustain
to do that, exhaustive marketing,
the post-production stuff.
Yeah.
Video, push, billboards, promo, tour.
Recently, I did a project with a friend in the UK, and the project was done. He came back to me and said, "Dude, the project is done, but I don't have the financial muscle to pull the marketing off, so I'm going to shelve it for a while until I have the financial muscle to pull the marketing off." So yes, I think that's basically it. The resource, the financial resource for gospel musicians to. I mean, imagine if there was a label behind the likes of Joe, myself, and Emoji
Global.
And again, let me get back to the O2 conversation, right?
Let's go.
Did you know that a Ghanaian gospel musician has sold out the O2 before?
Yep.
Who did it?
Emmanuel Smith.
Emmanuel Smith. He's a UK-based Ghanaian.
Oh, so
My
he's
friend
not-
Emmanuel
okay,
Smith.
Okay. He's
Sold
Ghanaian,
out.
but not in Ghana. Okay.
He's Ghanaian.
Okay.
I brought him here for my Blessed album release concert last year.
Okay.
So yeah, gospel musicians, if we have the right systems, man.
Potential is clear.
I just find it very intriguing that, because if you look at the days of the Jane and Benesses, the Daughters of Glorious Jesus, the Cecilia Marfos and whatnot, I mean, they had some, well, we wouldn't call them labels, but they had some distributors or some investors that pre-financed their music. So it was everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure where the disconnect has been. I mean,
I think the disconnect.
because I think, not to catch, but I think if I'm an investor, right, like I was saying earlier, you already have a ready audience in the church. That's numbers for me, right? I can sell out maybe 20,000 copies of my music in a church. Say I take Perez Dome, for example. Their audience, their auditorium is about what, 20,000 if I'm not mistaken. That's a ready audience to stick my music.
You're
right?
saying this in retrospect, that's why. See,
yeah, but I'm just saying that I'm just trying to look into the minds of the investor or the businessman.
Jane and Benny's Daughters of Glorious Jesus, it translated to a tangible medium. There was cassette.
Yeah.
There was this.
Yeah.
So if I take
The disruption of the internet.
Yes, if I take
So it's affecting the gospel artists more.
If you did not plug into the internet revolution on time, you are way behind.
Yeah.
Remember, what's his name? This friend of mine in Kumasi, Moses Oke spoke about that some time back.
Yes.
The disconnect for him was the internet era when we were using Facebook to promote
They
stuff.
didn't jump on.
YouTube. They didn't quite get abreast with it early. So that was the disconnect phase.
Wow. Well, lots of interesting insights, lots of revelations, and of course, clarity. I really love the conversation, but also soon we're going to be wrapping it up. Akesse Brempong, it's been a sensational morning. From the songs serenading us to jamming to the conversation, I have personally learned a lot. I didn't expect that I would be contemplating certain things in my head right now, but I'm contemplating
You want to start?
It don't
Gospel?
concern you. It's between me and my God.
I'm just asking.
It's between me and my God. Like he said,
Hey,
We
hello.
welcome you, man.
Thank
we
you.
welcome
Thank
you.
Gospel rap.
Thank you.
Nyame beye, monsieur,
No,
nyame
but it's
beye,
definitely been a vibe,
obeye.
Charlie.
Oh, shit, Cyril.
Thank you, our viewers and listeners, for staying with us. We know we've run over time, but it's still the big conversation right here on 3 Music TV's Culture Daily. It's Naya Cyril, it's Solele Salvador, Lenny Lomote. We've been here with Akesse Brempong. Senior, any
Boss.
last words while we wrap up?
Yeah. So are we online?
Oh, we are live.
26th, UK, Reading. I'm coming over for what's it called, Emmanuel Praise. We'll be doing another Europe tour. We did last year. We're doing this year as well, sometime in November.
All right.
We just did Davidic 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. We're coming to Kumasi.
Nice one.
Yeah. So please pray with us, support
All right,
the music.
all right.
Let's link up on
Cyril,
socials.
just a quick one. Where is brother Denzel?
Denzel is in the US.
Wow.
He's doing great
Denzel
in the
and the
US.
happy music.
Yeah.
So
Let's
you
send
heard
our
it
greetings
here,
to him.
Reading on the 26th and Kumasi also in the pipeline. Akesse Brempong will be jamming with you, so make sure you're there if you can make it. This has been The Culture. We're going to catch you on Monday. You know there's still a lot coming up next week. We out. Peace.